Hello everyone and welcome back to Sicilian Dragon. Today we're going to look at the Speed Chess Championship 2024 first quarterfinal. The match was Fabiano Caruana versus Alireza Firouzja. And it was an even match. No, not really. So it started off with a draw and then we had some one-sided play, then a pullback, right? But in the end, Firouzja dominantly won 14.5 to 8.5. So, yeah, as you can see, Firouzja was leading 2.5 to 0.5 in 3 games. Caruana pulled it back, and it went on and on. But really, Firouzja never let up and was almost always in the lead. So I'm gonna show you one of the games that I think was quite. It summed up this match. So basically, in this tournament, they play 75 minutes of 5 plus 1, 50 minutes of 3 plus 1, and then I think 25 minutes of 1 plus 1. So this is in the 3 plus 1 section. This is the 15th game. Firouzja with white, Caruana with black. We have a Sicilian, knight f3, d6. This is all prep, I'm sure. And we have a knight rf. h3. An interesting take. I myself don't play this in these positions. e6. Okay, g4. So a flank attack, you could say. Yeah, bishop e7, g5, knight fd7, h4 to protect the pawn. All normal. b5, flank attack on the other side. a3, bishop b7 taking control of that good big diagonal. Bishop e3, knight c6, and f4. And here Caruana makes the first mistake of the game, h6. So I don't know why. I guess the computer doesn't thinks that this doesn't do much. After bishop h3, according to the computer, the next best move is what Firouzja plays, rook h3. So now the eval is going to drop a bit. It's still 0.9, and it may go to +1. Knight c5, and now we see queen e2. So it's all simple. Firouzja obviously wants to castle queenside. So yeah, now I think the only move that the computer thinks keeps Caruana with slight chances is knight takes d4. Right? It opens up the bishop more. And after you take, now the computer is gonna strike in the center, e5. And even here it's still +1. The computer is still pessimistic about black's chances. But Caruana plays queen c7. Both sides long castle. And now b4. Taking space and kicking the knight. And now here the computer is gonna want knight takes d4. And after bishop takes d4, you can play e5. And if you take, I take, and it's actually quite better for black now. So knight takes d4 would have been pretty good. b4, knight d7 is a mistake. After any knight taking on b5 really is quite good for white. You see, takes, pawn takes, knight takes, and now the queen has to go to b8. And yes, you gave 2 pawns, but now you go g6, and it's actually black is quite cramped, and the engine has a line that it's a comfortable win. But anyway, knight d7, and now g6. So g6 here, if you take, which is not what happened in the game, you're gonna get forked. So you can't take, of course. Knight takes d4 first, so that now there's nothing like that. Bishop takes d4. Now you're attacking the g7 pawn. F takes g6, and now queen g4. Here the computer was happier with moves like a4 or at least knight takes b5. Queen g4. Okay. So now the eval is only +1. Now plus 1.4. So Caruana might still have some fighting chances because this is speed chess. But he is already 18 seconds down. Bishop f6 to try to protect the pawn. But now knight takes b5 is very strong. And the idea is after you take, I go rook c3 and I'm gonna get your queen. Right? Queen takes e6. Seems to be a miss, and now the position is drawn almost. It's plus 0.95. King b8. So basically, for Caruana to still have okay chances, I think the computer was really leaning towards this move, rook h8, and then basically you have to go back. But king b8, okay. And now the computer is really only saying that knight d5 is a good move. Firouzja finds it in 13 seconds, but now he's only 6 seconds ahead of Caruana, who takes almost instantly. Queen takes, only move. That was winning. Knight b6. Bishop takes b6, only move. Firouzja is now 7 seconds ahead, and both are almost down to 30. Around. Almost below 30. Queen takes b6, and rook h d3. Not good. It's now a drawn position if Caruana finds g5. And in 9.8 seconds, Fabiano Caruana plays rook h8. And now it's back to winning for Firouzja. It's plus 2.3 if he plays bishop g2. He finds it. He's now in perfect control of the game. He has great action in the future on the h1 to a8 diagonal. e5 is an idea. He's completely winning. King a7. Yeah. To avoid e5 and losing the bishop after queen a8 because that's checkmate. King a7. King b1. It's a mistake. And now both are one. Firouzja's on 15 seconds, Caruana's on 11. It's only +1. He still has the winning advantage, possibly. G5, played in 1 second. It's now 3. It's +3 if you play E5 or even take on G5. E5, he finds it. D takes E5. Queen C7, Queen F7 check, and Rook E7 can give Caruana slight chances of maybe a draw based on the low time. King B8. It's a mistake. Because now, Rook D7 is the wrong move. You had to go F takes E5. And now if you take my pawn by the bishop, it's going to be mate. If you take my pawn by the rook, it's definitely going to be mate. So you can't do anything. If you go back, if you go like this, I can just take, and then it's just completely winning. Rook d7, rook takes d7. The key move here was e4, cutting off the bishop's line of sight, and then it's just a draw. But rook takes d7, and now it's mate in 9 after rook d7. Rook d8 now makes it mate in 4 if you play rook b7. King c8, and Caruana resigns. If you take, it's mate. If you take, it's mate. If you go king a8, rook b6, discovered check, e4, and queen b7. And if you play king c8, which is what happened in the game, the following continuation would have been bishop h3, g4, bishop g4, queen e6. Sorry. Yeah, queen e6, and then queen c7. So a good win for Firouzja. It's actually 10-5 in 15 games here. Final score is 14.5 to 8.5, and Alireza Firouzja will get a spot in the live semifinals in Paris in September. Today's game, which we'll have a recap as well, is going to be Hans Niemann versus Wesley So, starting later. Until then, make sure to catch up on any other chess news, and see you next time.